Okay, so we've put on effects and we've looked at editing. Let's look at doing transitions and audio, okay, playing with sound as well. Let's extend our workspace. Now I'm going to put some more footage in here, just so we can show you a bit more with the transitions. Let's drop some footage in. Okay. In fact, that'll do. That will do. Right. So we've got our effect there that we put in earlier, keyframe that in. Now we want these to, I want this to crossfade and I want this to dip to black. Okay, now I'm going to have a problem, and I've used these two clips in particular on purpose. If you use footage that goes right up to the end of the clip, your transitions are going to struggle to work because there's no actual negative footage for you to use. If I go in now, go into my video transitions, go to dissolves, which is what fades are. They're not actually fades, they're called dissolves. And I want to put a cross dissolve here. It will only let me do it this way. Okay? Now why that will only do that is because this clip here is from the middle of a shot. If I double click on this. Come on. Okay. Which shot is this one? Okay, it's from here. And you'll see here that clip is from this section here. So we've got all this negative other footage that we haven't actually used, but it's allowing it to be referenced here. Okay, this clip doesn't have that. It's gone right to the end of the clip, so there's nothing for it to actually crossfade into. Okay, so for that crossfade to work, I've got to trim this back. Okay, ripple delete that if there's no gaps, if there's nothing here to stop that from going backwards. Okay, that will close. If I go back to my transition now, put a cross dissolve in, it crosses them both and it lets you cross dissolve. Select that, press enter, press return. Okay, so that cross dissolve works nicely there now. Okay, now let's say the same again. We want to do another transition here, but this one here, I've used it straight at the very beginning of our footage here, so there's nothing for it to reference that way either, so we need to trim that back as well. Okay, so let's trim that back, push it back over here. Now let's use a dip to black. Okay, and that's how that transition works. Select that, press return. Okay, so our transitions work like that. Okay, now there are different ways of making your footage fade in and out or dissolve in and out. You can use keyframes, okay, and you can use that on the opacity slider or line, okay, indicator on your timeline. So you see this yellow line on your footage, that is actually how opaque your footage is. So if I move that up and down, okay, it's changing how visible our footage is. Okay. Grab all this properly. There we go. There we go. 100%. Okay. Now to add a keyframe, hold down Command, go to the line when that little plus appears next to your cursor. Click further down, and then do this. Okay. Drop it down so that's 100%. That's 0. As we go along, that fades out. Okay. Go along here, and it fades to black. Okay, or dissolves to black. Do the same at the beginning. Okay. Now we want this one to come in earlier so that we can actually see some of our effects as well. There we go. Let's fade that in quicker. Okay, we really want to see some of that blue and red effect. There we go. That gives it a weird looking feel. Okay. So they are how you do transitions. Okay, for footage. Let that render. Okay, and you can sort of do the same with audio. Okay, there are audio transitions as well. Okay, and they're crossfades. So we want constant gain, meaning nothing. It doesn't play with the levels at all. It just lets the audio dissolve into itself. Okay, so I'm going to put them at the beginning. Or in the middle here, but I'm not going to use keyframes for it here like I could do exactly the same as I've done with the keyframes for the footage, but I'm just going to drop them at the front. Okay, and it just makes it easier. If you know you want to fade in, just drop those filters on. No need to mess around with keyframes. Okay, so that audio now will fade in with the visuals as well. And those three clips will cross into each other, so one will fade down while one fades up, and it should make it a little bit more seamless. Okay, now if I did want to change the levels of this audio throughout the footage, if I want to hear certain bits or not hear certain bits, I can just go along, add keyframes where I need them, and I can either make them spike up and down like that, or so on. Okay, now it's snapping to and from in a minute. Or you can actually take a section in between and raise that up as well, so it actually fades from here to here, hits a plateau there where it's all the same volume because you want to hear that more, and then it'll fade down. Okay, there you go. Alright, whether you can hear that or not, let's turn that up. Just how the audio changes. Okay, just to make that a little more obvious, let's drop it down at the other ends. Select that and delete that one. Okay, so to delete that, I just clicked on it and then press backspace. Okay, so now I've got no audio and it's going to go up and then come down. Okay, now I'm going to undo all of that and just leave it all on the same level. I just wanted to show you how to do audio keyframes. Okay, now there are audio effects that you can play with. Okay, they're all here. Okay, you might use reverb, which is an echo. Okay, so we have an echo effect. Okay, pitch shifter, which will change it higher to lower volume, higher to lower keys. Okay, there's high pass, which will cut out high frequency noises. It's if you've got a background noise that's a high frequency, high pitch, you can try and use that to cut that down. You can go into dynamics and EQ, so you can actually do your own EQ. Alright, denoiser, so if you've got any audio noise, put that on and then you can tweak that as well and try and get rid of some background noise. And of course there's volume, so you can adjust the volume. Alright, so I might just stick on a reverb just to show you how that works. So stick a reverb on this one. This one looks... Oh, I'm selecting all of them in a minute. Hold on. Click on there. Stick a reverb on. Okay, so let's double click this. Effect controls, and it appears here. There we go. So I'm not going to confuse you with that. So that's with it. Turn that off. Okay. Now we might need to do some tweaking. Okay, so this is basically a graph about what the effective size of a room, okay, or the reverb of the room that you're going to be in. So it's basically talking about echo. Okay, so this is the back wall and this is the start point. Okay, and this is kind of how much space you've got. So let's try playing with that. There we go. Okay, and all you need to do is just tweak this until you get a reverb that you'd like. Okay. So let's just stick with that. Again, play with it. Alright. Okay. So that's an effect. I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't really like it. Just turn it off. I might turn it on later. Okay, but you've always got that option. Turn it on, turn it off. Okay. So that's transitions, audio transitions, keyframes, and filters for audio. Okay. So, yeah. Have a play.